Welcome, Andrew.
Good to see you, Vincent. Glad
Here
you're
we
back.
are.
Yeah,
in Causeway Bay again.
Beautiful downtown Causeway Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Loving it.
All right. What are we talking about today?
Oh, okay. It's apparently it's Crazy Idea Day yesterday in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was just going crazy yesterday on Sunday. Of course, people were fighting in the streets of TST over mainlanders, no mainlanders. But the really crazy idea that snuck under the radar was Professor Anthony Cheung.
The Secretary for Housing and Transport.
Yeah, he's apparently kind of let slip that the Long-Term Housing Committee has been studying rent control. And I mean, wow, rent control? Really? So that was kind of Crazy Idea Day for that one to come out there. And then, immediately he had to come out and clarify that he's like, no, it doesn't mean we're going to do it. It just means we were discussing what the potential impact could be. Because, I mean, that was something that was kind of implemented in Europe and North America in the 1960s and 70s. And by the 1990s, he'd realized, it was just such a complete and unmitigated disaster that, everybody had started backing away from it and trying to find ways to dismantle it. And for someone to throw it up or suggest it for Hong Kong in the modern era, it's like, wow. It's kind of like bad ideas brought back from the past. So.
You know what? I hope this is a political stunt. I hope this is a political stunt because a lot of the populists would strongly support rent control.
Yeah,
including I saw an ex-legislator coming up, Lee Wing-tat. He may
there he is.
He may also support.
I would hope he knows better.
Rent control.
Yeah.
Current legislators.
Yeah.
I believe Fong Kim Kay, Frederick, is a strong supporter of.
Rent control
or rent subsidy or some sort like that.
Well, rent subsidy is a different,
a
different issue, completely different issue, and it's a different.
But it is a very populist concept. I mean, in Hong Kong, people in the street, especially in Causeway Bay, they have a extremely big pressure on rental hike.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know. I've always been a renter here, and never, and I've faced.
So they will have a very strong tendency that if someone can harness.
Yeah. And I think it's, in
harness the rent.
Well, this is where Hong Kong, I think, has such a benefit of being an international city, is that if we have awareness of what's happened in other places, we can avoid their mistakes.
Yes.
If we become more insular, we lose that. Your man on the street hears rent control and thinks, oh, that's a great idea, not realizing that it has been tried and been a massive failure in other places. So, we got to keep the dialogue open in Hong Kong. So hopefully this is just a stunt and not a real
But at least the secretary.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Cheung appears that he is open to the ideas. And then after taking it back and said that we have investigated from around the world. And this doesn't work. Rather than, he said, we understand that it won't work, bye-bye.
Yeah.
I mean, then it will be a strong political turmoil if he said it so bluntly.
That's another way. The only thing is he may have planted a seed. And again, populist politicians going after votes don't really care what the impact is. They might be able to get their hands on this and get out there and spread a bad idea.
Yeah.
It happens.
But you know what? The core concept of rent control is control, right?
Yeah.
You want someone to harness the rent.
Yeah.
The problem is, do you want the government or some sort of mechanism to harness the rent? I mean, do you trust the government is the best entity to harness the rent? I don't think so. Even the government doesn't think so.
Yeah. It's
right.
It's it's kind of crazy talk.
I mean, the government would really hope that they would rather the market. Yeah. I mean, not harness, but come up with a market rent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole idea of it. Yeah. I mean, they can control a lot of things, but
and they do.
Yeah. But for rent, I think it's
just a bad idea, and
I mean, it's too difficult too. Oh,
it can't be done. And we've seen what have happened in other markets. I mean,
because once you introduce rent control, I mean, in Hong Kong, the government would very likely run the risk of public-private collusion.
Oh, there's piles of it. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
Because the major developers set the rent in the market.
Absolutely.
And then when you try to let the public know that we can somehow control the rent, you must have a lot of discussion behind the scene with the developers.
Of course.
So by introducing rent control, you are actually giving a new platform for possible collusion.
Oh, yeah.
And that is not what the government wants.
And that's not what Hong Kong wants.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the top level.
Yeah.
If you set up such a platform, senior officials, middle officials, and junior officials
will all be in on the game. Yeah.
Will be into collusion or even corruption.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, that could be a great angle to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't see the effect, but you have to consider the process.
It's very real. That's a very real threat, Vincent.
Yeah. So I think harness will be the key word. I mean, how would you like to harness the rent? I mean, by the economy, by the market, or by the government?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know where my vote is, but I'm going to go with the market. But yeah, that's great.
Think more about the word harness. That will be the key word for today.
All right. Thanks, Vincent.
Thank you.
Cheers.